Welcome to NYIT Roundtable. I'm Jody Goldberg. While green buildings were once a luxury, today some people say they are becoming government standards. Here with me today we have Ted Beer, owner and president of TM Beer and Associates, to discuss a little bit about green initiatives. Welcome, Ted.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
To start off, if you can, please discuss a little bit about businesses, what they are doing, or what they can do to become a little bit more energy efficient.
Almost any building can reduce its energy consumption by 20 to 30% by using proven techniques, and we apply those to help buildings permanently and significantly reduce their energy consumption, improve the indoor air quality and the safety of the occupants.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is this about the safety, the health, or the money?
It's about all three, and fortunately they work together. If you make the building more efficient, the safety of the occupants improves, and there's a good return on investment.
Okay, now, who can invest in a green building?
Almost anybody can. Some organizations provide the financing themselves. There is government assistance. There is assistance from Long Island Power Authority. And many of these projects are self-financing. They produce savings that are adequate to pay for the work that has to be done.
Okay. Now, are these buildings built from scratch, or do you take them from where they are?
A lot's being done when buildings are built from scratch, but buildings last 60 to 70 years, so we only replace 1.5% or 2% of all our buildings each year. So we want to deal with those, and we are, but we also want to deal with the 98% that we're going to live with for a very long time.
Now, how does this affect the buildings that aren't touched? By going green, what can happen?
Buildings that have not yet been touched can be adjusted so that they use less energy, they are more comfortable, they produce less environment, and they contribute to the overall green effort.
Okay. Economically, Ted, what is the difference between going green?
We think it has a very high return on investment. We think it's not really an issue. It makes no sense to do anything else. And what's being called going green now always was getting the proper return on a long-term investment. The problem was that in much of the U.S. buildings were built for lowest first cost, and that's not the concept that gets you an efficient building or a good return on investment. So you're really just fixing a wrong priority that was in our system for many years.
Okay. Now, what are some of the areas where buildings come a shortfall of the green initiative?
Well, first of all, you have complex systems in the building. You have heating, you have air conditioning, you have lighting, you have security systems. Many of them are fighting each other. Many of them are not efficient to begin with and do not take advantage of new technology.
Okay, so this new technology will not only help the economy, this will help the people in the buildings?
That's correct, because they will have cleaner air, they'll have better light, and they'll be more comfortable.
Okay, cleaner air, better light. What else could these people look out for?
They also will be safer because we often tie these systems with security systems, because the building then knows who is in the building and whether they belong there, and can adapt the systems to the people that are in the building.
And this is all green?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what are some of the technologies that you apply?
The first technology is to put some type of computerized system in the building to run the building. You have all those systems that I mentioned, and historically they just ran on their own. The light's controlled by a switch on the wall, the heating by a thermostat on the wall, security may or may not have existed. Now you tie these together and you apply microprocessor technology and you make them work together for the benefit of the occupants.
What is microprocess technology?
It's the same thing you have in your laptop or your iPad. It's a very high-powered computer that can be programmed and dedicated to specific functions. In this case, the functions are to run an efficient and safe building.
Okay.
And we've been doing this since the late 1970s. It's not recent.
Okay. Let me ask you a little bit about TM Beer and Associates, their green building policies.
For our own property,
yes.
You mean? We practice what we preach. We have computerized equipment running our building. Our building was built as a coat factory in the 1950s. We've made it into a manufacturing and office facility for our own company. We have put in, obviously, the internal computers that I spoke of. We've put in highly efficient lighting with the assistance of LIPA. We have technologies called variable speed drive that in other ways makes our building more efficient. We have a new boiler plant. We have high efficiency air conditioning. And we recently put solar on the roof. So
wow.
We've done most of the things we advocate other people doing.
Okay, now is this a building where people could come by and actually see what they can have?
They certainly can. We do that often. We hold classes. We also hold classes for schools. We've had everybody from New York Institute of Technology students down to some energy cadets from a local junior high school who wanted to come in and see what could be done. And we're delighted to show this stuff to anyone who's interested.
Okay, now where is the building located?
Glen Cove, just at the southern edge of Glen Cove as you come into town.
What can business owners expect from going green?
They can expect to lower their operating costs in their building by 20 or 30%. They can expect to reduce absenteeism because people will breathe better air and be more comfortable. They can expect more productivity because people will feel better working in the building. And they can contribute to the national imperative we have to do something about our oil importations.
Okay, and now when is all this finalized? If you do choose to go green, how long does the process take?
Great question. Some of the things can be done within weeks, some of them take months, some of them probably take a year. Average project's probably about 6 months in duration.
Okay, and now can anybody go green? What about homes?
Homes certainly can go green. It's a little bit different problem. The biggest problem in a home is insulation to start with, which people should address what's going on in their attic, and then address what's going on with windows. And then their appliances. If they have old refrigerators, that's a tremendous energy waster, and LIPA gives you a generous bonus for trying to change that. And there are federal tax incentives for other things you can do, including solar.
Okay, now, does the season affect going green?
No, it has no effect at all. The savings are all year round.
If you can, hold that thought. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion about going green.